All right, Yotes fans, sorry we're a week late with this one. We had a few technical difficulties last week, so made a mistake there, but we should be good to go for the rest of the season. So it's great to be back with you guys this season and here with Coach Mo in his office. And Coach, jumping right into Southern Oregon, very good game for you guys overall, but an interesting game, especially in that first half with Southern Oregon going on very long, sustained drives and only getting a couple offensive opportunities in that first half. So just like I asked the players, how tough of it as a coach to keep your guys in it, not press, stay in the game plan when you're not getting very many opportunities out there at all?
Yeah, early season games, but really it's any game. I mean, good Frontier Conference is, we got great coaches, great players, every team. So they're going to come up with a plan for you. And we deferred, we won the toss, deferred, kicked off, and we didn't think that it would be 8 minutes before we saw the ball. So that's the dilemma, but they had a good plan. We weren't sure exactly what they were going to do, and they came out with this ball control, short pass, run it, very content to do that, and they did a good job. They converted a couple times. We had them 4th and 7 once and 2nd and 22 once. So we got to do better in making those plays, but to not let them score touchdowns was huge.
Yeah.
Was huge. So again, we're and I think we've said this. I mean, at least you and I have talked personally that I think we're as resilient as we've ever been as a whole team. Glad that you'll talk to some of the offensive guys today. I mean, we're experienced and all that, but defensively, all of a sudden we have a lot of guys that can contribute, a lot of guys that can play, a lot of guys that understand what we're trying to do. And it'd be tough losing a couple of key guys, but I like our resilience. We need to figure out a way to get off the field sooner, get more possessions. But what we learned from that is every possession is like gold, and then we need to learn how important every play is too, because you make a play here and there. Maybe we do get them off earlier. But anyway,
the whole course
very, very, very pleased with the whole operation and the way we responded, and second half and turnovers. It's just great.
Yeah, and speaking on one of those turnovers again, defense is able to hold them to field goals, which is so big because a 14-0 is much different than a 6-0 situation that you could have been in. You guys go get a touchdown to make it 7-6, and then Isaiah comes up with a huge pick six at the end of the half, and you guys are in the locker room with all the momentum. How big was that pick six to just totally almost erase the first half and say, all right, we're right where we need to be?
I think, more than anything, both the drive and the pick six, sometimes you need a spark somewhere that sparks the belief that, hey, we're going to be just fine. So I think that did that times 1,000, so it was really, really, really good. Back to the drive, though, we got a key break there. Andy got hit, so we got a couple breaks along the way with penalties, but you need breaks.
That's football.
You need breaks to win. Football is a beautiful game, and that was a beautiful game. It just wasn't so pretty in the first half, but it ended up great, and just so proud of the guys. So many guys contributed. Our kicking game's been good, solid for sure. And our special teams, we have a chance to be really, really good on those. And so I think we're still at that stage of the season where we're still coming together a little bit, which we'll need to do more for this team coming in.
Absolutely. And then just kind of, rounding out some things on that Southern Oregon game. A lot of contributions from a lot of guys. Thought Andy Peters played very well. He talked about John Schofield with a few rushing touchdowns, but Broch Richardson was really able to open up that game, especially in the second half, and hitting balls down the field, which is so big for you guys, some chunk plays, and they really had troubles, staying in front of him. So just talk about his performance. And
we have a number of difference makers, but Broch is a guy that we're always looking to. We do a lot with him. He's quite capable, and he kind of plays big out there too. He goes up and jumps and catches the ball, and Andy, again, I can't say enough about him. He's the most accurate thrower we've ever had. So he doesn't miss when he's got open guys. So those downfield throws, both to Broch, really, 3 big plays to Broch, and that changed the course of the game.
Yes, sir.
In that, throughout the game, but it was just huge for him to hit those. But Broch has speed. He's quick. He's has some strength. So he's a unique guy that. It's no mystery anymore. Broch Richardson is a guy that we're going to, and everybody knows it. But we got enough around him. We got enough other weapons. I think that it makes it tough on defenses, and that's what I'm interested in, is putting pressure on defenses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And well, obviously, like I said, great game there, and great way to blow it open in the second half. And we move on in the season to a very tough opponent, Montana Western. Huge game, always is a big game. Montana Western, great program. So, as you've watched the film the last few days, what are you seeing from them, both offense and defense, and the challenges that they present to you guys?
Well, they're the best throwing team in the conference by far. It's not even close. They're one of the elite throwing teams in the country, and they graduated a quarterback. But I knew years ago. I mean, their coach Ryan Norse, kind of joked that now we're going to be just fine a quarterback. When John, it seemed like John was there for 10 years,
yes,
but this kid is really a good player, and then the receivers, while not flashy, are just really, really good players. So he knows what he's looking for. Coach Norse knows what he's looking for in the receiver room, and he's got them, and they're good. Then they got a good running back that we tried to recruit from Walla Walla. They're big up front on both sides of the ball, huge up front, and strong, and good. And on defense, they're bend but don't break, and what that means from our perspective is they make you be really good.
Keep it in front of them.
Yes, they make you be really good play after play after play, and so that's the challenge for us offensively, is to find a way to not only move the ball but sustain drives and then also come up with points. Defensively, we got to find some way to. They had us completely on the run last year. Coach Jewell would be the first one to tell you, it was muddy, slippery, so there was a lot of factors going on there. But they lit us up pretty good in the throwing game. So we have to, keep the quarterback in the pocket. Stop the running game. You got to stop something, and then we got to figure out a way to make it more difficult for them to throw the ball. They're really good. It'll be an exciting game. I mean, this is going to be a barn burner.
Yes, sir. And you talk about when a team is a great bend but don't break defense. And the red zone the red area is always going to be so critical in football.
Yes.
But it becomes even more when you have a defense like that, where it's, hey, once we get in the red zone and backed up, we feel good about ourselves. So how important is it to finish with touchdowns and not field goals, especially in a game against a good offense? And how do you guys, do you add some wrinkles, or how do you guys kind of address, the red area in a situation like this to be as efficient as possible?
Great question. We work hard on that. So it's a fine line between putting in a bunch of new stuff. So we worked very hard in the red zone. We do a lot of different from when you were here. Even red zone 7-on-7s, red zone 1-on-1s. Because everything's compressed, everything happens quicker. It's a little more physical. And Montana Western, exactly. They bend but don't break, but they don't give up many easy ones. So it's not easy. So we just are always working hard at that, and then it's where you can get a little bit creative. We've been great so far, but with a blend of running and throwing, and I think that's where we're different than some teams. We're willing to run the ball down there, and John Schofield has been huge. That might be the big play in the game, 4th and 1 on the 2.5 or so, and they got a tough front for us, but he was smart enough to know Alamar's kind of the, in that particular set, kind of leads the way in the Wildcat thing, but they found a way to get a foot, past the first down marker, which kind of set it up.
Totally, and I asked him, and I thought it was interesting. It's something to comment on, is just that it's not often you see a receiver be the short yardage Wildcat goal line. Everyone in the stadium knows you're going to run the ball. So just talk about kind of his spirit as a football player and his toughness and the ability to be a guy from on the edge, come in there to the most intense box situation and have success.
He's just a different guy, but we knew this about him when we got him from his junior college film, I think Glendale Community College, but he's just a tough guy, and he can run with the ball, so he has some running back skills. So this is, as a college coach, you learn, okay, this guy played quarterback when he was in 7th grade, this guy played running back. Sco kind of has done it all. So he's just very comfortable with the ball in his hands. And then, I don't know if you watched the Clemson game the other night. So I have ties to the Clemson program, and new offense, mesh point, didn't score inside the 5, I think,
multiple
3
times.
different times. Fumbled multiple times. So we like that Wildcat, at least in part. We got some other tricks up our sleeve down there, of course, but it's nice to not have to hand the ball off.
Yep.
And Sko has a variety of skills and stuff like that. So he's a special guy.
No doubt. That's
what we want to try to utilize and find out and do everything we can.
Yeah, it's like you said too. That everybody will say that oftentimes the best red zone offenses are the ones that can do that, where you don't have to get to no triggeration. Everybody kind of knows it's coming. The ability to just line up mono a mono and get the job done in the run game.
Right. Definitely that. And then the trick is when you have to throw the ball, can you be effective down there? So. Like I said, we're working hard, and I think we have a good plan this week. So,
awesome.
So it's exciting.
Awesome. Well, Yotes fans, we'll see you guys all at 1 p.m. at Simplot Stadium for Montana Western versus C of I. Huge Frontier Conference matchup for us. So we're excited to see you guys there. And Coach, thanks for your time.
Okay, dude.
Appreciate it. All right, Yo fans, welcome back to this week's episode of the Steel Show. Sitting here with starting quarterback Andy Peters for the C of I Yotes. Andy, we'll jump right into the Southern Oregon game. A lot of production on offense, but most of it in the second half, right? The game started out a little interesting with Southern going on really long, sustained drives and C of I only getting a couple possessions in the first half. So kind of talk about that first half, kind of a weird one, and how you guys were able to stick with the plan even though you weren't getting very many opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we weren't getting many opportunities, so we knew when we did have the ball, we had to do something. We had to be productive. I think we counted 17 plays total in the first half, so we knew that second drive coming through that we had to score. We had to give our defense a break. We can't let them, hold the ball forever and wear out our defense. So we just knew how much those opportunities meant to us and how we had to capitalize on them.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then like I said, in the second half, you guys were able to kind of break the game open, put a lot of points on the board. Obviously, there was some stuff down the field in the passing game. Brock Richardson has a big game. You yourself have a big game throwing the ball. So talk about kind of what went right in that second half, why you guys were able to move the ball so well.
Yeah, I think part of it was Southern kind of stepped away from their game plan of holding the ball forever. So once we get more opportunities, then we have full confidence in our offense that we're going to go down and score. And I think a lot of things in our game plan just opened up and went well, like you said. So we were able to push the ball downfield and make the plays that we needed to make.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. And moving right into next week, very tough challenge coming. Montana Western, always a very good and sound defense, always a challenging game. So what have you seen from Montana Western on film, and what challenges do you think they present your offense this week on this Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Montana Western, kind of what we were talking about before this, is they're just a super disciplined team. They're going to not blow coverages, like we said. They're going to do their assignments extremely, extremely well. And so I think, we got the athletes to go make it happen, and we have full faith in ourselves, but it's just going to be a test, one disciplined team versus the other who can make less mistakes.
No doubt. And so what do you think would be, the key for you guys to have a productive offensive day against this Western team?
Yeah, I think kind of what we talked about earlier, like with Southern, just making the most of our opportunities and making those plays when they need to be made. You don't get a lot of opportunities versus a disciplined defense, and so when we can make them, we have to make them.
Absolutely. Well, Yo fans, come out this week, 1 o'clock, Simplot Stadium, to come watch this guy tear it up against Western. We appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you. Go Yotes.
All right, Yo fans, here with starting wide receiver John Schofield for the C of I Yotes. Guy's a stud out there, makes a lot of plays for us in the run and pass game. So, John, jumping into that game against Southern Oregon, was just talking to quarterback Andy Peters. A little bit of an interesting game with very limited possessions in the first half. So just kind of talk about, what that's like when you're a player and you guys aren't getting very many opportunities and just trying to stick with the plan.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was definitely weird, because our defense usually comes out hot and shuts them down and we get on the field real quick. But, just sitting there and we were just waiting. And it just, when we ended up going out, because I think they had like a 7-minute drive that first one, and it just kind of put us back. And we started a little slow, had a little 3-and-out. And then same thing, it was weird sitting on the sideline for that long of time in that first quarter. But, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Because usually we're out there, getting at least 3-4 drives in the first quarter.
Yeah, yeah. And then you guys were able to, at the end of the half, before Isaiah makes that play to send you guys in the locker room with all the momentum, you get a huge drive for a touchdown, capped off by you there. So how big was that to get a touchdown on the board, take some pressure off the defense, and just get you guys going?
No, definitely. It created the momentum for us and gave us back that juice that we needed, It just helped us just recreate that energy that we were missing in that first quarter and having those short drives. Like I said, we were just kind of like dead because we were just sitting there and we were just anxious to get out there, and we made a couple mistakes, but once we had that drive and we scored and stuff, the energy came back and we were ready to fire off.
And it's just so big because, as an offense, you can start to press a little bit when you feel like you're not getting the opportunities and you're like, oh, we got to score, but it's important to just kind of stick to the plan.
Yeah, definitely.
So, over the last couple of years, you've been kind of a little bit of a goal line specialist in the Wildcat situations, and that's not common, I guess, for a receiver to be that guy on the goal line. So, what kind of pride do you take in being that guy where, hey, we're on the one, everybody in the stadium knows what's coming, we got to find a way to the end zone? What kind of pride do you take in that?
Yeah, no, it's a certain amount of pride because, like, they give me the power and they trust me enough to, in those situations, like, hey, we're going. Like, the other team knows it. Like, we trust you, and I have a great offensive line, and Alomar and either Hunter, whoever's in there with me, I know they're going to open up that hole, and then I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to go get it. It's been a great goal line play for us. Like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, So I just know, like you said, everybody knows it's coming, and I got to do it.
Stick your face in there. I
love
it. Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm lining up and getting ready to snap the ball, I'm like kind of reading the defense, and I just know once I get it, there's just full steam ahead.
Yep, get find a way
through somebody's face.
I love it, absolutely. So, moving on to this week, huge challenge coming in. Montana Western, always a very good program, very good team. Based on what you've seen on film first few days here, what challenges do you think Western presents you guys, especially from an offense?
Yeah, they kind of stay back and bail out, so the deep ball and stuff is going to be a little challenge for us. So we have our game plan and scheme. We're probably going to try to keep it in the shorter routes and stuff like that. So just kind of nick and dive them, and the biggest thing is just outscore them because we know they have a powerful offense, and I think they put up 500 total offensive yards last week against EOU. So we know we're going to have to score every drive we can, because like last year we fell short. We missed out on a couple drives and didn't score, and they just outscored us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, fans, come watch this guy tear it up at 1 o'clock at Simplot Stadium. John, good luck this week, brother.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, fans, we're here with stud offensive lineman for the C of I Yotes, Ryan Halford. It's great to have him in. First time on the show. Ryan, we'll jump right into the Southern Oregon game. Interesting game. I've asked the couple players before you, limited possessions in the first half. You guys are able to get a drive at the end of the first half, but it's limited possessions, right? And sometimes offenses can feel like they kind of have to press. So how are you guys able to just kind of stay calm and stay in the game plan there?
For us, it was like we know what we're going to do. We know that we're going to get, once we get our turn, we're going to make it count. It's like we got to go score, keep ourselves. We know our defense is going to get a stop, get something going for us too. They're going to help out. And once we get on the field, we gotta go. That's what it was.
Absolutely. And then you guys able to kind of break it open in the second half. What do you feel like worked for you guys in the second half? And even from an offensive line perspective, how do you feel like you guys were able to break things open in the second half?
I think on the offensive line, we just got movement. That's what it was. We got a lot of good double teams going. Really started to run the ball. The run game started moving, and that opened up the pass game a lot of the play action passes that we hit in the shot plays.
Awesome. Absolutely. And so, moving right into Montana Western, like I told those guys, obviously a huge challenge always. Always very sound on defense, physical team, good team. So based on what you've seen on film, what do you see out of especially their front seven, and what kind of challenges they present you guys this week?
Defensive line, they're just big, strong, thick guys. They're just going to stop the run, plug gaps. And the front seven, they're all about the run. So it's kind of just, getting movement up front, getting on those linebackers to get the run game going, open up, all of our big shot plays that we got going. That's probably the biggest key this week is
awesome.
All that stuff, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, well, Yotes fans, you heard here from Ryan Halford, offensive line. C of I's offensive line's been playing at a really high level so far this year, so come support these guys at 1 o'clock Simplot Stadium, and we'll see you guys there. Thanks for your time, brother.
Thank you.
Yep.